very accomplished runners, so I'd imagine we're going to have, you know, maybe a close race today. Especially with a hammer in that first chest.
That was a pretty clutch first find.
Yes, we have Runner Watcher starting Link's house. He's going to go up to the uncle. He does have the option of going straight into the front of Escape with this hammer here. I don't know if he'll do that, though. Oh, and bombs from the tree pole. Very nice. Both Cassidy and Hitsian going up here to the tree pole. Probably a lumberjack check right after. Fairies from the bush crab. Not the most useful prize from that particular place. And Runner Watcher picking up silvers there in the uncle's chest. Not going in front of Escape. He'll continue on to Kakariko from here. It's not the most comfortable start to immediately be in front of Escape on 3 hearts with no lamp, because you feel pressured to Death Warp and do Dark Cross as well. And if you get a key, then, you know, you might feel like you need to go all the way through the Escape with no lamp.
Interesting couple of finds here in the beginning race. The hammer, the silvers, and now we got our runners kind of heading toward Kakariko or making their way that way.
Yeah, Jexrefi, unfortunately, opting to skip the lumberjack check and the uncle check, so he's not going to have an opportunity to do a nice tree pull. And he'll have to dip into blindside under the well and just hope to find bombs there, where everybody else found lots and lots of bombs from that tree.
Never a bad thing to have early bombs, that's for sure.
Cassidy already going South Shore. I find it a little hard to agree with going to South Shore right now for Cassidy after going to Lumberjack like he did. Because, like, the main reason to put off Kakariko is for bombs, but he got bombs. But, you know, there's other things he could find, like a bottle or a flute, that would make going to Kakariko later more valuable.
Well, especially if you're up in the Lost Woods area, it would make sense to kind of go down to Kakariko right after.
Oh, and Cassidy, instead of going over to Ice Rod Cave from Mini Molvar, it looks like he's going to go over to the dam and maybe a Gina right after. Definitely a less common route. That's a very quick map check from Jexrefi. I think I saw a 5-6, but I don't know where.
Something that we definitely didn't see was that the bow was in Kakariko Village, and I also saw that there was a lamp there as well.
Yeah, it definitely looks like an early Eastern play is going to be on the menu. Jexrefi going there right now. Yep, Cassidy's headed straight over to Agena's Cave. So checking Agena's Cave this early, it's really more of a metagame kind of play. Like, he's not going to Agena's Cave because he thinks it's progression. He's going there because he knows very few people are going to end up doing this. And if there is something there, then he gets rewarded heavily. Especially if it's, say, like a flute or a mirror, which would be the normal items players would wait for before checking it.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing these quick one-offs sometimes will pay off handsomely because people may not take the time to go all the way out there, and sometimes it doesn't. But there's also a sword in Kakariko that I believe that we missed.
Alright, Cassidy not really getting rewarded for that Agena play. Looks like he's going to head to Kakariko from the south. Or over to Sahasra's hut, whatever. Cassidy, what are you doing? It's a little unfortunate. for Cassidy, because there is that bow in Kakariko.
Looks like we just have a piece of part of the library ledge, so I can't imagine that people would be heading back that way. And Runner Watcher is going to be giving us a race game check, which we probably have gotten before, but we'll get again right now, and it's just a big red ruby.
As long as Cassidy doesn't continue into Eastern after this, it's really not that big a deal to have to come back to this area. Green Pendant and Misery Mire. Thanks, Asrala.
So of course that means we're going to have to go in there.
Alright, and he does save and quit, so he'll be able to pick up that bow in Kakariko now. A little bit of a time loss coming over to Sahasrara too early, but not that big a deal. Meanwhile, Jex Refi making his way through Eastern Palace, hits him right behind, and Runner Watcher about to enter as well.
We picked the Moon Pearl, it would seem, somewhere along the lines. Where was that going?
Oh, I don't know. How could I know that? You think I'm paying attention to where stuff is? Come on.
Aren't you like one of the 7 sages? Shouldn't you know these things?
I can assure you it was somewhere in the light world.
Oh, I was thinking maybe it was in Ganon's Tower for some reason. I was way off.
Shoot, where was the Moon Pearl that Runner Watcher and Hitsian have, but Jex Refi doesn't? Maybe Bottle Merchant? Jex Refi was shorter on bombs. Or on rupees, I mean.
That's the way we started with it. Oh, there's the Moon Pearl, right off the Moon Pearl vendor.
Alright, that's not bad news for Jex Refi then, because he's already been to Kakariko, orphaning that location. We'll go back to Kakariko eventually, though.
I mean, the good news is that eventually you'll get bottlenecked, and it's good to get bottlenecked earlier rather than later.
Yeah, and that bottleneck will occur in Kakariko, which is where he would go to enter. One of the places he can go to enter the Dark World anyway. As long as he knows he skipped it, he should be fine. Runner Watcher successfully not checking that hint tile. It would not help him to do so.
I was really hoping we'd get someone to check a hint tile soon.
And maybe somebody will do it later.
Looks like Hitsion's about to go into the Armos battle, and we'll see what these fellas have here for a prize.
Yeah, misses the quick kill, but takes it down anyway. Loses like an extra arrow. It's not a big deal.
Boy, what if that arrow was the arrow that took out Ganon? Now it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's like 1 in 10, right? It's fine. It's gonna be okay. Jex Refi going for bottom right strats, see if he can get the quick kill.
Cassidy, meanwhile, is going to see... Cassidy going to see Uncle, do some bombs there.
Yeah, Cassidy will save us a little bit of time having silver arrows for that fight instead of regular arrows. Hitsine headed over to South Shore while Cassidy's going front of Escape.
And this will be a new check rather for us here in the viewership, and we'll see what we have down here.
See Runner Watcher having a much easier time on Armos Knight's Silver Arrows makes a big difference there.
Looks
So we
like
already found the
yeah,
he's going over to Ice Rock Cave.
go ahead.
I was saying we've already found the small key here in the front of Escape, so that does put the entire Escape in logic. Cassidy will likely Death Warp at the Ball and Chain Guard.
Yeah, it looks like Cassidy got. Did I see a Cane of Samaria there?
That was a Cane of Samaria, yes. Not the most useful item to find right now, but will be useful later for sure.
Oh, that's good. Jax is headed back to Kakariko, so should be getting the Moon Pearl quite shortly.
You see Cassidy was taking damage on the Ball and Chain Guard on purpose, setting up this Death Warp. Oh, luckily did not get full heal.
Alright, well, with that lamp in hand, Cassidy's heading to the next part of Escape in the Dark Cross area.
And falling Cassidy into front of Escape. Where, oh where, could this Power Glove be?
And that is a very good question. Very good question indeed.
Well, at this point, there has to be something here in the back of Escape. We've seen everything else in logic.
That's true. I mean, those three chests back there will likely have something to bear, but fortunately, we had to take the long route to get there without those gloves.
And we got a glove! Awesome. And that is a Dark World access for Cassidy Moan. Cassidy just flying through the front of the game.
Looks like Cassidy is going to opt to go ahead and go into the Dark World and probably check Hype Cave first. So, see how Hype Cave is.
Such quick map checks. We have Red at Thieves Town and Pod as a pendant. Runner Watcher doing the fake flipper here out of Ice Rock Cave. He'll probably only do Hobo though. He doesn't have enough rupees for Zora.
Alright, so let's see here what we have in Hype Cave.
He's going straight to the Zora area. What do I know?
Ooh, there's some Quake Medallion in there in the Hype Cave. However, everything else was just red.
So Cassidy could continue west here to Dark World, but I think he's going to go straight to Palace of Darkness. Maybe he'll check Pyramid on the way.
Runner Watcher
Yeah, he doesn't find anything there in Waterfall Ferry.
Feeling is mutual.
But still no rupees for Zora, so he'll just check this ledge item and leave.
Cassidy about to give us a check on what's on the pyramid. Some bombs.
Yeah, we'll see if he gets to go over to Pod or if he's going to go up to Catfish. Looks like he's going to Pod. It's kind of a dangerous routing like this because now Catfish is orphaned, right? Like normally you check Catfish after doing the pyramid, but with Pod being accessible, he's going to go over here instead. And now he has nothing to pair with going to Catfish. There is an opportunity later though if he finds like Mirror and Flippers, he can do the Zora area and Catfish at the same time.
Yeah, the routing of Catfish can be quite tricky. If you have no other reason to go there than just a hunch, statistically, probably not going to pull up for you. But every time I've said that, it has something of value. So.
Hitzian also starting with Hype Cave. I imagine he'll end up doing Pod as well. Yeah, Pod is a pendant, but you have the map, or sorry, you have the hammer, you have a bow, you have the lamp. This is very likely to have progression here.
Yeah, the game is all but shoving you into Pod at this point, and with 5 items in there, we have the potential for some nice finds.
And we didn't find a small key in the first chest, so this is completely bow locked. Check the hint tile, Cassidy. You know you want to.
Do it for the memes. Jax is about to get his glove, as we have Hitzian getting Eastbound and Runner Watcher soon also getting their glove.
Yeah, Hitzian also orphaning that Catfish check to get into Palace of Darkness. Hopefully Catfish is just nothing. So normally with the hint tiles, you don't feel as bad about skipping Catfish because it's likely you'll find a hint for it, telling you there's something behind a grumpy fish. But no hints today.
Jax is opting to enter the Dark World from the Thieves Town area instead of over by Hype Cave, so we'll get to see that, at least what West Dark World looks like.
Cassidy missing the bomb throw for Vanilla Big Key. Just a small key and Vanilla Big Key just looks like everything's gonna be in the back.
Like the best item in the game, which isn't in the back, but still the best item in the game.
So Runner Watcher, our third runner to head to Hype Cave first. He'll be see and throws a bomb at the hint tile. Take that, hint tile.
Poor hint tile, what did it ever do to you?
So Runner Watcher likely to head over to Pyramid and or Palace of Darkness from here, while Jexy is doing Front of Skull Woods.
Yeah, that beetle that headed over the raised up blocks, Cassidy was like, no way, and knocked it right into the abyss.
Oh, Runner Watcher going west over to Stumpy instead. It's a little unusual to go over here first because like typically you do this when you have the mirror to go into Kakariko after, or the mitts to just go straight to Village of Outcasts. But he'll definitely get these checks before everybody else. Maybe we'll find the mirror mitts here on Dig Game. It could happen. We're still waiting on finding something here in Palace of Darkness. I think Hitzian's going straight to the boss.
It would seem that way. We did get a sword in Skullwood, so Jex Refi is piecing out without the Fire Rod. Can't go any further, but did get both items.
And there they are. Titansmiths and Palace Darkness Big Chest.
Bits to resolved.
It's kind of unusual to see Hitzian going straight to the boss because, like, it's pretty common play to check everything in Pendant Pod except the boss and just leave if you found something good. But if you're going to do Helmasaur, if you're committed to doing Helmasaur anyway, you know, doing it first doesn't really lose you any time. Looks like Cassidy's going to kill the boss as well. I would have left, I think. After getting the mitts, I would say that's good enough.
And you would have been very sad.
Yes, I would have. Helmasaur paying off big Fire Rod on the boss in Pendant Pod.
Ooh, we had the hook shot in the chess game there for Runner Watcher.
Yeah, definitely a heads-up play from Hitsu and Cassidy Moan going to Helmasaur King. Like I was saying before, like Helmasaur King himself is a check I would expect a lot of people to want to skip after finding those Titansmiths. Cassidy run into a little bit of trouble in Turtle Room, down to 4 hearts. Had to play it a little safe on Helmasaur, but should be pretty fine. Meanwhile, Runner Watcher in the front of Thieves' Town with only 2 hearts to his name. Never sank heart. Or was it Ice Rod on Helmasaur? It looked like a Fire Rod, but we're playing with like we're looking at a lower resolution version of the stream, unfortunately.
Alright, well, still value. You need that for Total Rock. We'll see it again here on Cassidy's screen.
Yeah, that is the Ice Rod. Still, very valuable item. Oh, just a helpful hint for our bottom tracker. Both Jexrefi and Hitsuan do have the hammer. They found that in Link's house.
Yeah, I was getting a bit worried because I've seen people work on that item.
Yeah, the tracker can be kind of what's the word? Chicky, I would suppose. Finicky. There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah, Jexrefi just got bodied there by the enemies in Thieves Town. That's a tough spot. It's pretty far back.
Yeah, dying in Thieves Town feels really bad once you get to the back. Runner Watcher on 1.5 hearts right now. He's in that same boat.
In terms of sword and armor, these runners aren't really well equipped at this point, though. With the hook shot, those enemies go down right away. And so do our runners.
So what happened there was Runner Watcher was trying to hookshot the grasshoppers as they went across him, but it doesn't let you use items while you're standing in a doorway, so he had to step forward to use the hookshot, and one of the grasshoppers went straight into him as he tried to do that.
So there's a lesson to all of you there. When you're standing in your doorway, you cannot use anything, because that's hashtag Zelda physics.
The normal way to do the room is to just walk straight forward and bypass all the grasshoppers, but this is just one of those situations where trying to play it safe ended up getting you into trouble. Oh, and he takes 2 bodies there from the Zazax. So he's gonna drink that potion. No way is he dying again.
Yeah, there comes a breaking point when you start dying in a dungeon that requires a lot of retracing that you just can't stand no more. All that for some sticks. That's too bad.
Well, he had to come up here anyway. Gosh, grasshoppers, leave Runner Watcher alone.
New final boss for Thieves Town. Grasshoppers. Just a swarm of them. Well, Jexrefi picks up the Foe Maiden and heading west to get that chest. I rhymed, I didn't even intend to.
I don't like her hair on Jexrefi's screen. His sprite has given her some weird colored hair.
She's just going for an autumn color.
It's too brown. Runner Watcher. It looks like he frame rolled that Zazax shot.
Yeah, I don't think Hyrule has hairdressers.
Hitsuan finishes up front of Skull Woods, going over here to check Bumper Cave. Just 3 bombs. And he'll move down into Village of Outcasts to check Thieves Town with everybody else.
Jexrefi and Runner Watcher having dueling blind fights now.
Yeah, Runner Watcher giving us the blind script. And we'll be able to see like how big of a difference like the script makes over Jexrefi free ball in it. Not only in time, but also safety. Jexrefi taking another death.
Ooh, that Good thing is blind is still there, so at least you don't have to do a whole sequence again, but still having that second death here in Thieves Town, that hurts.
Blind script is such a valuable tool in Link to the Past. Without it, like, blind is like this really big question mark boss where RNG and, you know, just like a couple missed shots make the difference between life and death. And the blind script just basically trivializes the whole encounter.
Yeah, this is definitely a frenetic boss if you are off script.
Runner Watcher looks like he's going to go up the mountain. A lot of checks we can do here. Of course, he'll need the mist before he can do Dark Death Mountain. But it's pretty standard fare to try and avoid doing pendant dungeons. Jax Murphy.
Oh, poor Jax. Well, despite the fact that Runner really can't do those Dark World checks yet, it is good to get that save point up and running.
I feel like Runner Watcher knows he should go to pod, but he doesn't want to. I mean, from his point of view, it's possible that the only reason the game gave him the bow was to get like an early Pyramid Fairy. But then, you know, why wouldn't he do that instead if that was the case?
Nothing but money in and out of Spectacle Rot, so it looks like Runner Watcher's gonna have to jump down and take that hook shot over to East Death Mountain.
Alright, Jax Murphy taking down Blind. This is why I'm so surprised that everybody did Pyramid before going into Pod. Because, like, as soon as you get to the Dark One, you do the map check, you realize, oh, I'm going to get both red crystals, like, right away. Like, everybody's going to go to Thieves Town, right? So, I don't know, it just made more sense to put off doing the Pyramid check, since you can pair it with Pyramid Fairy later. But maybe they're just going to not do Pyramid Fairy.
I almost fell right into this. Anyone check the hints yet? And I was like, oh wait, no hints. So there you go. I was the first person to accidentally check a hint.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of getting used to not having hints. Cassidy take him down Blind as well.
East Death Mountain is proving to be quite lucrative. We have the Ether Medallion, we have the Powder, and we found a sword upgrade.
Those are all not good, though. I mean, sword's alright. But the Powder is just a fetch quest, and the Ether Medallion doesn't really help anybody yet. Alright, Jax Murphy's going to head over to Hype Cave, and he will be our first runner to do Pyramid Fairy, I would assume. And we have a fire-locked Tower Para. Get a little bit of a coffee break here from Runner Watcher. Well, I guess it's always a coffee break for us, but he's gonna work against the tiles.
I mean, are you not drinking coffee right now? Because I think I might be doing it wrong.
Well, I got Dr. Pepper. So you can see Runner Walker intentionally taking damage from all these tiles before setting up his coffee break. He's going to be death warping out of here.
Alright, Jack's Refi is going to give us a Pyramid Fairy check. I was reversing my letters there. Although Pyramid Cherry Fairy sounds delicious.
I don't know. I don't like cherries. They're too tart. I don't like it.
Ah, but they're so delicious and filled with vitamin C and whatnot. All right, well, Jack's Refi is about to unleash the bomb to get us into the Pyramid Fairy to see what 2 items she will have for him.
For our other runners, I kind of hope it's nothing, because they've all kind of isolated this location. And it's a book. It's a book. It's a book.
Koi, I know how much you have a bias against the book, so I'm very sorry.
I'm not biased against the book. I just think that the book is biased against me.
The book loves you. The book loves all.
Alright, Jack's Refi not going into Pendant Pod, so this is a more comprehensive routing decision. Because if he doesn't do Catfish right now, Catfish becomes very orphaned.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he is heading straight for Catfish. Don't know that he's seen Zora. Well, we don't have the mirror, so it doesn't really matter if he's seen Zora. He'd have to come all the way back here again.
I wonder if this is going to drive him away from going into Pendant Pod, though. Because now Pendant Pod looks farther away and more troublesome to get to. And he still has, like, the mountain he could do in Logic. Of course, we know that he needs to go to Pod. But does he know that we know that he needs to go to Pod?
He should know that we know that he knows that we know that he should go to Pod. And here comes Catfish.
You're gonna win this game if we play. Catfish only having 3 bombs. Not ideal.
Yeah, Moldorm being trollier than ever, dropping a singular ruby in his wake.
Jack's Refi goes to Sanctuary. Looks like he will be going up the mountain instead of into Pod. And Runner Watcher giving us a very early Spike Cave check. Now this is not in Logic. He can do this on 13 hearts exactly, I think. With just the hook shot. But it's pretty tight. Looks like he's gonna just...
This is an interesting move.
Sequence breaking his way to 10 arrows.
It's pretty spiky 10 arrows.
Is it 14 to do it with the hook shot? I know it's 15 if you don't have the hook shot.
Alright, I gotta give a shout out to Techno Link in the chat. He's been making me laugh this entire race, so kudos to you. Good news is with the book, Jack's Refi is going to have the ability to check that tablet.
Yeah, very true. Makes this dip up the mountain just a little more valuable. Oh, he doesn't have the mirror to get to Hera, but he does have the hammer, despite it not being marked to the tracker.
The Legend of Zelda, the Phantom Hammer.
The tracker is so finicky. I'm pretty sure that our tracker in charge of Jack's Refi has marked the hammer several times already, but it just won't update. Oh, we got it this time. Hammer it down. But yeah, quick shout out to our trackers, you guys. Literally Jen and C. No, he wrote it down. Hang on.
Say Ryu X.
Yep, say Ryu X. Okay. Much
You
thanks
guys
to
are the
them.
heroes of this game. The heroes of Hyrule and whatnot.
Looks like Runner Watcher.
Alright, so Koi, you...
Check. What are you asking me?
I was going to ask Koi. Well, I mean, you did a lot of good things. But you also have a very deep knowledge of this game, one that I am very jealous of, and you would know, is there anything that the pedestal can behold at this point?
Oh, that requires, like, critical thinking skills, man. Okay. Medallion to get into Turtle Rock. The flippers. The mirror. The fire rod. So yeah, lots of stuff.
Oh, well, so chat should be happy. Lots of things could be on that there pedestal.
It's not really worth it to think about pedestal yet, though. Like I don't even consider pedestal as a real location until I can actually kill all 3 pendant bosses. And right now we're still missing the flute to get into Mire.
Runner Watcher shares the disdain for the book and slashes out those chests, although I'm pretty sure just because it wasn't much of a good thing for progression, per se.
Etienne also setting up a death warp. Oh, and accidentally misses the coffee break, though. So suddenly in a very dangerous situation. Do not miss one of these tiles. And now he's got to worry about the mini mold worms. Oh god. Alright, he made it. It's fine. We got this.
Looks like Runner Watcher is headed for Pod, and we're about to see what's in the basement. Got the big key in the basement there. Saw that before, and we got a tablet check.
Yeah, draw yourself to the bottom left. It is a piece of heart. Okay, so the book not useful for that, but it is still currently our only access into Desert Palace.
Cassidy is giving us our first check of Dark Death Mountain. We have several locations there, plus some information check on T-Rock to see what medallion we will need in order to enter.
Half magic is nice, I guess, you know, not the most useful thing you could find.
Cassidy now heading into Hookshot Cave. We're going to see what is there. Oh, we had our first armor upgrade. First male upgrade of the seed of blue male is in Hookshot, so that'll be, I'm sure, welcome.
And the fire rod. And it is for sure the fire rod this time. I think. Pretty sure.
Nah, it's a new rod. It's a lightning rod.
The poison rod. Make it happen.
Work your magic, computer dev people.
Oh, I missed the medallion check. I think it was Bombos? I couldn't tell. Did anybody see it? It was Quack! Quack! Alright, so TR Medallion, no longer a pedestal possibility. We already got that one. So Cassidy, after finding the fire rod, finding out that he has the medallion to get into Turtle Rock, has decided, let's do Master Sword, aka Hammer, Trimax. This is a big move from Cassidy going into TR right now. TR is a very dense dungeon for items, 5 items here. Quaking
Using
the
that Quake
rock
medallion?
rocks. I don't think I've ever seen Quake. I use Quake like that, or in that position anyway.
I wonder if it saves time. If you hadn't gotten dead rocked, it would not have saved you time. But otherwise, I guess it saves a little bit of time.
Oh no, he was using Quake to get the fairy specifically. Like
that's right.
Stopping
No
the dead
boots.
rocks is just like icing on the cake. Yeah, you can Quake rewards out of like bonkable trees and rocks like that. Typically, you don't see that though, because usually players aren't that worried about finding fairies and such things.
Neat. I learned something new today.
Yeah, being on Master Sword, I guess Cassidy just wanted to play it a little bit safe here. Hitsian right behind, headed into Turtle Rock as well. Both of these runners have not grabbed that book out of Pyramid Fury yet. Although, if we find the mirror here, maybe it's not impactful anymore.
It's like Hitsian is just opening up T-Rock. Maybe we'll go back, but we'll first go into Hookshot Cave to get the mail upgrade and to get the not to get the hookshot, just the hookshot, to get the fire rod.
Oh, Runner Watcher saving and quitting out of Palace of Darkness. That's not good. He got those mitts, and like I was saying before when Cassidy and Hitsian were here, you find the mitts and you might think that's good enough and leave without killing Helmelser King. So probably going to end up last location of that Ice Rod. I think his only out at this point, the only thing that could save him from absolute last locationing it, is if Pedestal does have a required item.
Jex, meanwhile, picked up the cape in Spiral Cave, so that'll be a nice safety. Again, not a progression per se, because there was nothing on the ledge there in Dark World to use it, but a nice safety nonetheless.
Yeah, Jex Ruffy still continuing to try and avoid doing Pendant Pod. Looks like he's going to do Dam and then head over to Desert right after. This can be an important play. Like, Desert is a location that only Runner Watcher and Jex Ruffy currently have access to.
I don't think I've seen the South Shore, at least the Dam check, this late in the game.
Yeah, some runners try and put it off and maybe get to pair it with going into Swamp Palace. It's not the most unusual check I've seen. Oh, he hasn't done... Oh! He hasn't done South Shore at all. Oh, my bad. Didn't realize that. Okay, Mini Moldorm this late in the game is unusual.
I mean, luckily for Jex, it really wasn't much of anything, so putting it off didn't hurt him per se. Putting off Pod, however, is definitely hurting him.
Draco Falcone asks, how does Mirror make book non-impactful without flute? So the assumption is that they would just also find the flute somewhere, right? Like maybe the mirror leads to the flute in K45 or something. It's just like in most seeds, your access to desert is through flute and mitts and mirror rather than from the book. It's just more common because those items unlock so many other things as well. But you're right, they would need both the flute and the mirror.
Cassie doing a pickup of bombos in Turtle Rock and is heading for Laser Bridge shortly.
Looks like Runner Watcher's gonna go straight to Skull Woods here. Nope, never mind. Just completely ignore me. Runner Watcher! Come on, buddy. Where is he going? Oh, he's gonna check Bumper Cave first and then go into Skull Woods.
There are flippers on that Laser Bridge.
Probably not the item you really wanted to find, but it's definitely a good one to find. They will need those flippers, at the very least, to do Swamp Palace. But right now, the only thing the flippers are doing for us is putting all these flipper checks that everybody already did into logic and giving us access to the Ice Palace.
Alright, well, Cassidy is our first take on Trinex with that hammer, as you were saying before, Koi, and with half magic, at least has a nice setup to do so.
Yeah, the hammer fight for Trinex is it's a little tight. Like, it can be very dangerous because the upswing on the hammer is just so small of a hitbox that it's very easy to accidentally walk into the boss. But half magic makes it a lot safer because if you get in trouble, you can just spam the rod, and that'll take him out as well.
Now, if the game were particularly nasty, there'd be something in oh my god, why can't I think of the location right now? My brain has quit out.
Mimic Cave.
Mimic, thank you.
Yeah, it's a pretty dangerous gamble to skip Mimic Cave like this. Each of our runners who went into Turtle Rock did not have the mirror. And with no hints to bail anybody out, it will remain a mystery the entire game. So
this Trinex is just dropping a 50.
So this can be a way that Runner Watcher gets bailed out for not killing Pendant Pod, right? Like maybe he goes to Ice Palace without the flippers because he doesn't have the ice rod and doesn't want to double dip Turtle Rock. Maybe he finds the mirror there and can check Mimic Cave later, and it turns out to be like required boots or something. You know, there is a world in which everything works out for Runner Watcher. I think more likely he'll just double dip Turtle Rock though. Alright, Jex Ruffy heading over to Desert Palace. We'll do Hina's Cave on the way.
It's like Hitsuyan took down Trinex, and Cassidy is checking, will be an unhelpful Spike Cave, and Runner Watcher is going in for that last item in Skull Woods. Will he do a pen check is the question.
No, because no mirror.
That is very true. So no, he will not. See, it was a trick question.
Wonder was setting up a death warp, or I'm not sure what he was doing there. It looks like he was trying to set up a death warp. I'm not sure where he's going after Skullwoods from here. Maybe he got like the big key in the back or something that leads to the second item. And our first chest here in Desert Palace can only be 20 rupees. We have a boots locked in Desert Palace. Jex is gonna leave.
Huh, well, it looks like we're about to get some new checks, at least in ice, but with those flippers, ice is all we got right now, so we're hoping that's where it's going to be.
I think Jex Refi is finally going to make the play and go into Palace of Darkness. And then he turns around just to make me a liar. What are you doing? Maybe just entering the Dark World over here instead of over there.
Here's our mirror.
Mirror in Ice Palace. Runner Watcher already did Dark Death Mountain, right? So he set it up to Turtle Rock.
Believe so. And Hitsuyan, I guess, is in go mode effectively, unless the big key is on that torch in Ken's Tower.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, you just assume that the boots aren't going to be required. It's only a 1 in 22 that you'll need the boots. And you save so much time go moding the rest of the game.
Yeah, especially something like Swan Palace where the go mode cuts the dungeon like a fifth.
I would expect them to check chests that are like directly on the way. Just in case you find the boots. But for the most part, just skipping everything you possibly can.
And the dungeons he has left minus ice, I mean, ice, I guess, is a little bit lengthier, but I mean, the Swan Palace go mode is really fast, and the Skullwoods, you just gotta find that big key, and then and a small key, and you're on your way.
Runner Watcher, he's gonna have a very bad day. I think. Like, he's gonna go into Turtle Rock here. He's gonna find flippers on Laser Bridge. He'll probably full clear Swamp Palace, full clear Ice Palace, finish up Skullwoods. Or he did Skullwoods already. But it's gonna be a long time before he makes his way back to Helmless Lord King. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, that's the risk you run when you sort of take that gamble on, oh, this has got to be the big item in a dungeon. It can't possibly be that there's something else here for me.
You see him finishing up Ice Palace, and he did go mode Ice Palace. He skipped every chest. after he got that mirror.
Essentially, Cassidy is just a mirror away from go mode, so hopefully we'll get that soon. But as you were saying, Koi, Runner Watcher is could be in a little bit of a trouble here.
He's definitely in trouble.
Just trying to glass half full this.
It's empty, man. I'm sorry, but it's empty for Runner Watcher.
Womp womp womp. Itsuyan's about to go ahead and go mode Swamp. Again, I think you're right, Koi, maybe picking up things on the immediate pathway. And it looks like Cassidy is going to do, looks like, nope, going to head right for Ice Palace.
Yeah, the only chest in this dungeon that I would expect Hitsuyan to grab is like the waterfall chest, and even then he may not even do that. So Cassidy's a bit behind here because he'll still have to go to like the Eastern Palace, which he hasn't done yet. But you know, the only like the best way for him to get ahead is by finding boots and them also ending up being required. But like it's just so unlikely for that to happen. But we'll see how many extra chests he's going to check now that he's also in basically go mode.
Jex is treating us to not treating us to a hammer jump. God, Jex is making all of us liars today.
Yeah, hammer jump's actually very valuable in this particular pod because without the mirror, he'd have to death warp out of the dark maze. So if you can hammer jump over, then it saves you that death warp. Having a little trouble finding the pixel position though. Nails it.
Hitsuyan's heading for Argus, one of the several eyeball-based bosses here in Link to the Past, with his sword upgrade, Silver's fire rod, and pretty well equipped to take this battle and make it quick. Opting to go the routes of Silvers, and down goes Argus. So one more crystal remains for Hitsuyan. It's the Skullwoods crystal, and then we're ascending the mountain and hoping that that key is not going to pull a 1 in 22.
So Cassidy also skipped the Freezor chest, so this tells me that Cassidy will be for sure going to go mode everything he possibly can, just like Hitsuyan did. So unlikely that he's going to like find the boots or something.
Of course, without that flute, it is a little bit of an annoyance that our runners will have to save and quit to really make their way across Hyrule.
So Runner Watcher finding the flippers on Laser Bridge. Unfortunately unable to kill Trinex. He did not pick up that Ice Rod from Helmasaur King earlier in the game. So looks like flipper checks and full clearing Ice and Soul Hump are going to be the play. It's funny how skipping that one location, right? It makes this seem like the worst seat ever to Runner Watcher. But it's like, hey, this isn't bad for Hitzian and Cassidy.
Yeah, and you have to think that to go back for an orphan chest just doesn't look attractive in with the prospects of dungeons that have many items in them. So it is unlikely that he's gonna kind of think, well, maybe, just maybe, I'll go back for Helmasaur King. But Jex is going to be getting his Ice Rod in short order, and will then be half the way there to getting his way toward Trinex.
I still think it was unusual to see both Hitzian and Cassidy fight Helmasaur King at that point in the game. Hitzian did it before the mitts, and Cassidy, after getting the mitts, stayed and did Helmasaur King still. But maybe this is just because there are no hint tiles, right? Like usually when you orphan locations, like maybe I'll get bailed out by a hint tile later, and that'll tell me what's there. But no hint tiles in this game, so maybe they're just being more comprehensive because of that. It definitely paid off today.
Runner was, it seemed, none too pleased to see a mirror. I mean, I'm sure that he was pleased to see a mirror, but not what he wanted in that ice run.
Definitely wanted to see the ice run, not the mirror. Because now with the mirror in hand, that opens up like 50,000 locations that could all have the ice rod.
Itzian is taking on Mothula, his final crystal boss, and we'll be seeing if indeed where the big key is in Gen's tower, and if we need to poke in any more locations.
That's right, guys. Hitzian, with 7 crystals in hand, will be headed up to Ganon's Tower. In Ganon's Tower, there are 22 locations that can contain the big key that he needs to finish the game. If you would like to place a guess in chat as to which of those chests will contain the big key, do so now, and we will follow Hitzian on his trek through Ganon's Tower.
Koi, what is your guess today?
I want it to be on the torch.
Koi, it's so mean.
I really want it to be on the torch. It would be so funny, right?
Koi, you're so mean. You stole mine.
It's like the only way Runner Watcher can come back if it's on that torch.
Yeah, this game becomes a little bit more exciting if that key is hiding on the torch.
Runner Watcher finding the flute as well. No.
Come on.
Suddenly pedestals in logic.
Oh, and so is Misery.
Oh, no, it's not. We need the boots for that.
Oh my god, I feel bad for Runner Watcher.
Yeah, Pendant Helmasaur is just so incredibly orphaned to her Runner Watcher. There is no way he's going to get there anytime soon.
Yeah, there's just literally at this point with so many things open, which is a bad thing, as we know. It's just so unattractive to go back for one more item. And Cassidy is poking around Swamp Palace for another item. Did I miss something that he thinks he might need?
I don't know. This is unusual for Cassidy to do this because he did go mode Ice Palace. Like, he didn't even check the freezer chest on the way. So why would you full clear Swamp?
Must be looking for boots, I guess. Alright, our count is about to get started here in Ganon's Tower. Hitzian goes right side first.
One and two are nothing, and now we get the moment of truth check. That torch, if this is the big key, Hitzian will no longer be in go mode. And it is just 3 bombs. We are officially in go mode for Hitzian and Cassidy Moon.
I'm sure there's a big sigh of relief from Hitzian as he approached that torch. Seven item locations in, and nothing to speak of yet.
Runner Watcher with no Ice Rod heading into Swamp Palace, and he is probably going to full clear this. God, it feels so bad. I feel so bad.
Yeah, this is tough to see. Obviously, knowing that there's just so little chance he's going back, and there's so much he's going to do before he even considers it.
Yeah, the thing is, like skipping Helmsor King after you just got Titan's Mitts from the big chest, it's not a bad gamble. Like, it's probably going to be fine. Like, 99 out of 100 times, there's going to be nothing on Helmsor King.
Well, Random Room had quite an assortment of things. It had a shovel, it had a can of Burna, it had a bottle. No biggie, but a lot of other things. You never realize how many little skips occur with the boots until you have to walk a seed without the boots. "14 item locations down, and still zilch in terms of a big key."
There it is.
If you count the torch location, and that is 16 item locations to get to the big key. If you don't, then it was 15. So,
No, we count the torch. The torch counts.
The torch
Who doesn't count the torch?
I don't
Everybody
know.
counts the torch.
I'm sure there's someone who doesn't. So
Okay, well, the official rules are the torch definitely counts, even if you don't grab it.
So 16 is the winner.
Not counting the torch. You're a monster, Perfect
Listen,
Gamer.
the torch has wronged me. The torch has wronged me in the past, so I have no love for that torch. So Schroden is our winner. Congratulations. You win our undying respect.
So Cassidy doesn't check the big chest in Eastern. It's just, I don't know why he did the back of Swamp like he did. Because he didn't check extra chests in Ice Palace. He's not checking extra chests in Eastern, but he did in Swamp. Just seems weird. I don't know. We'll have to ask him about that.
Cassidy is about to take on Armos, which is his final crystal boss, and then we'll ascend it to Ganon's Tower. And 16 item locations later, will find his big key. Jack's about to pick up, or has picked up his flippers. So with both rods in hand, going to take on Trinex, and then we have some business to tend to in the waterways of Hyrule.
Yeah, meanwhile, Runner Watcher heading over to left side swamp.
Wonder if he'll run across the boots.
Yeah, it seems likely that he might find those. So as long as they're not like in GT, he'll probably find them before he finds the ice rod.
By the way, I didn't mean to be punny when I said run into the boots, but you know, I'll pretend I was trying to be funny.
Honey.
Which is usually a change of setting for me, but you know, gotta try something new every day. Anyway, good thing I'm taking down Moldorm too. Gonna be vaulting across the way and past the chest, so leaving Moldorm's last remains alone.
Runner Watcher a little upset that Left Side Swamp did not pay off. So I think at this point he knows something has gone wrong. And he's just hoping it's just a terrible seed.
Hitsuyan, meanwhile, going to trigger an Aghanim tree over here, Aghanim 2. And then use those angles to his advantage and head over the big pig after.
So hopefully when players like Hitsuyan start finishing the game, Runner Watcher has like IRC open and sees all these very quick finishes and realize that he probably just skipped the ice rod rather than it being in a terrible location like Meyer or something. But a lot of players choose not to have IRC open so that they don't get tricked into metagaming like that.
Yeah, it's definitely, in addition to being tricked into the whole metagaming aspect, it's also a little anxiety-ridden to look at there and go, why am I not finishing? Alright, we got Hitsuyan going to Ganon, facing the big pig, really well equipped at this point. The only thing he's lacking is a butter sword, but really does not need it.
Cassie gonna check tower room. I guess he's feeling a little behind.
Runner Watcher taking care of some more overworld checks in the Dark World here. Picking up the Swordsmith, which I don't know that we saw anyone actually do this seed, if I remember correctly.
No, we did not. Yeah, this is usually a check you try and wait for the mirror to do. And down goes Ganon for Hitzian.
And Hitzian 1337 crosses the finish line to be our first restreamer to finish this race at 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 29 seconds. Second in the entire race, only to Shire with 1:19:40, so really, really close behind.
Yeah,
our
less
first
than a minute.
place finisher.
And we welcome Hitzian here to Discord. How you doing? GG.
Yo, GG's.
GG.
So I'm curious. Like my first question for you is the ice rod on Pendant Helmosaur is very clearly the big difference maker in this route. Were you influenced into doing Helmosaur by the lack of hints in the game?
I did Helma because I found the big key first and then I got 2 small keys. Normally, if I get 1 small key there, I would skip Helma, but yeah, I went straight for him and that was very lucky. And it was not the first time I got an ice rod on this pendant boss, so yeah,
So if
the rest
key
was
layout-
really linear, I guess.
Yeah, so if the key layout had been different and you didn't do Helmosaur first, would you have left after getting the mitts and skipped Helmosaur?
I guess I would do that.
Because at the time, like Cassidy went into Pod about the same time you did, but ended up doing the back first and finding the mitts, and he stayed to get the ice rod, where Runner Watcher, when he was in that situation, skipped Helmosaur. And now he's having a really bad day.
Yeah, I can understand that. I don't know, sometimes I do that, sometimes not. And it was today feeling like, do this, boss. Now you are here, you got the bow, you got everything to do this. Yeah, and it was only 2 minutes, I guess, you offer in this moment if you are on the bow side already.
Right, yeah. Doing it first was definitely more efficient.
Ice Palace was really good. I gambled for the ferry and my plan was if I set not the mirror that I do the big red bomb into Catfish into Zora. But yeah, the first chest had my go mode.
GG. Yeah, the book ended up being at a Pyramid Ferry. Kind of a bait. I think one of our runners ended up going into Desert at some point to find out it was boots locked. Currently, we have no information whatsoever on where those boots might be. But Runner Watcher without his ice rod will probably find them.
Yeah, I guess every runner who is really good in this game is not done because of the ice rod at this moment.
Yeah, I feel like skipping Helmosaur is a pretty popular gamble when you find the mitts in the big chest like that.
Yeah, and you dip Turtle Rock without the ice rod, probably.
So it seems like from Shackway, we're getting told that boots were in the shovel location near Haunted Grove. The dig location there.
Oh, did we find that out on the credits? I guess that would be in the credits, yeah.
Then it's
Cool.
behind GT.
That sucks.
Oh man.
So how did you feel about not having hint talents? Did you ever feel did you ever have to like fight some muscle memory for checking hints?
I feel really good because I never read a hint, I guess. I thought I would do that, but muscle memory is not happened today. I skipped every hint, so I saved time, I guess. Some people read that with muscle memory.
Yeah, nobody on the restream accidentally checked any hint tiles.
But now I wanted that this race was a qualifier for the Speed Gaming Live tournament with this placement.
Right, right. Cassie's given us a weird strategy for this turn without the boots. Moonwalking backwards through the falling bridge area.
I guess that would be the worst seed for a qualifier, because the first three finish with the Ice Rod from Helma, and a lot of good runner get lesser points because of that thing.
Oh yeah, like there's going to be a huge difference between Runner Watcher and like your time, just because of this one single location.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, it's not even wrong for Runner Watcher to skip Helmosaur. Like, Helmosaur is a long time for a single check, and as long as it's not the Ice Rod, like it's a huge time save instead of a huge time loss. Unfortunately,
yeah, normally I got baited by this one too, but not today. Was I the first one with the Ice Rod?
Yeah, I believe so, because you went to Helma first. I think Cassidy was in pod before you, but he did the back first.
Looks like we did get another sword upgrade in Ganon's Tower of the Room, the pit stop before Moldorm 2. Cassidy showed us that. So, looks like Runner Watcher's in Mire, but it could be just a frozen screen for a moment.
You got to think from Runner Watcher's point of view, like when you see Hitzian finishing at like 120, it's like, oh, something went wrong here.
I guess I lost a little bit of time with finding my silvers, after armors, and in pod because I skipped the front first, and then it had an item and I needed to death warp and walk back again for the bug net. But the rest was very solid, I guess. So I'm very happy about this one today.
Yeah, you did fantastic, man.
Expected that Brain finished first in this one, that he do Helma too, and with his execution it would be easy. 115 for him, I guess.
Pick of the race, we have Cassidy taking on Ganon, equipped to the nines, as it were. Unfortunately, Runner Watcher keeps digging deeper and deeper into Mire, hoping to find what we know is just not going to find.
I mean, all in all, this is a pretty friendly seed. Like, as long as you kill Helmosaur, then everything just kind of lines up. Just keep going to Crystal Dungeons, and suddenly the game's over.
Cassidy almost with the triple, but gets that last arrow in and is going to take down Ganon. So we will post his end time in just a moment. GG's to Cassidy.
Cassidy ends up finishing 6th overall with a time of 1:29.43, just sniping Blaine, finishing 7th.
Just a super quick rundown of the finishers of the race overall. Past Hitsuyan. In the name of DT was 127.29. Thelane was 129.25. Wolfie Dragon 1990 129.39. And then Cassidy, as you know, 6th place 129.43, and Wayne 129.53, a mere 10 seconds later.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened that you and Shire finished so much earlier than everybody else. Like, I don't recall Cassidy doing anything really different.
I skipped an Eastern, the anti-fairy chest, maybe Smith chain.
Yeah, just a few extra locations like that.
And I also skipped every chest I could skip in my go mode.
Cassidy is going to forego an interview. But GG to Cassidy for finishing second in our restream. And so our attention is now turned to Runner Watcher and Jex Ruffy.
Looks like Runner Watcher is headed back into Palace of Darkness now.
So, I mean, silver lining in this is that all Jex Ruffy's got left is T-Rock. And once he gets that ice rod, though, it is a little bit of a slog to get there. It's not as if there are a lot of things standing between him and that last dungeon.
You mean Runner Watcher?
Whatever I said, I meant Runner Watcher. I don't know what I said, but I meant Runner Watcher. And giving back that pendant to Sahasrala just to make sure that this pod re-enter is not necessary. It is, however, so in he goes. I can imagine that the problem that Runner Watcher ran into with the ice rod is he's probably not the only one to have done it, and so there may be a few runners out there that are kind of in a frustrated mode right now.
Oh yeah, no, like it's a really common gamble to just not do Helmosaur King when you find something good in pod like that, in pendant pod. There's lots of really good runners you expect to see in like the top 5 even, who have yet to finish, probably because of this same situation.
Couple more finishes in the overall race. After Blaine, we had Lin with 131.32, GFE 12 with 134.32, and then we had a tie for 10th place. Roach 788 and Obscure Lifeform 134.34. So we had a mythical tie happen. And also, I saw in the race chat, it is Roach's birthday, so then you can drop a happy birthday to Roach in the chat.
How could Obscure Lifeform do that to him? You know, it's his birthday. You know, just let him have 10th place.
Just gift it to him. Yeah, chat is pointing out that the forfeits are quite numerous at this point. So as you know, we were saying, Corey, this skip of helmet circuiting was probably has befallen quite a few people.
Yeah, it's pretty common when you see somebody like have this really quick finish and you're like not even in go mode yet, and it's, oh my god, I have to full clear the game to find out what I skipped.
That is so bad when you are on the other
lose
side.
interest. Yeah, a lot of people just completely lose interest in finishing the race at that point.
Honestly, I would forfeit too, 100%.
If Runner Watcher says no thank you to the pendant and just saves and quits out, is going to race up the mountain at this point. I can imagine there's just a high level of frustration. But you know, at this point, he is in go mode, so looks like he's going to tough it out and finish it here.
So I'm curious, Hitzian, since you know how it feels to be in this position and you say that you would have forfeited, do you feel any guilt knowing that you're a part of this? That you're causing these players to hate the game all over again?
I'm feeling really good today.
I feel good for making people feel bad. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, that's how it goes sometimes in Rando. Sometimes you make the right calls, sometimes you don't.
But I'm only 1 of 100 seats on the good side.
Right.
Yeah, and I said to myself, that's a warm-up for the qualifiers, so I skip probably nothing, because I don't know, in the qualifiers, if you skip something and there is something, you are completely wicked. So
It makes a lot of sense, because like in a qualifier situation, your goal shouldn't be to be first. It should be to finish early, right?
yeah, the problem is some people will gamble, but you cannot do this if you want to reach one of the good places, I guess. You can work 1 seat, but not every of the 5.
Right.
Jenks Refi is about to get his big key for Ganon's Tower and then head on the way up to his Aghanim and Ganon fight through the gauntlet and through all the different rooms. And Runner Watcher is making his way slowly to Trinex to finish up his last crystal dungeon.
Yeah, I remember I timed it one time, and I think it's like a 3 or 4 minute time loss to double dip TR just for Trinex. He does get to pair it with his final climb up the mountain, though. Jexy making his way into the gauntlet. It's all gravy from here. Sorry, I guess we just don't really have all that much to say anymore. Like, everybody found all the stuff.
Yeah, there's not much else to say other than we're going to watch our last couple of runners here just do the thing, score the points, and Runner Watcher is really disposing of Trinix quite quickly. And like I said, quite a quick jump westward will bring him to Gen's Tower, which, again, if anything else, silver lining in all of this.
I was hoping we'd get like a closer race with how good our restream runners were today, but Hitsian just blowing everybody away. Frickin' Hitsian.
I needed that one after the last restreams I had.
Just next time Hitsian, we would appreciate it if you could like maybe skip a location or
I skipped one location
or something.
Anti-fairy chest in Eastern. Vanilla big key chest.
Was it a gamble? Like, was there still an item left?
Yeah, I gambled this one very often because I hope if I get a bow, and a lamp, I expect that Amos has something for me. So.
What a terrifying gamble.
Yeah, that's very bad. Every time if I get bailed by this, I'm thinking, is there the last item?
Do you go back if it is an item? Or do you just leave it alone forever?
I leave it alone this time.
So that's your ice rod on Helmsor.
Next time, I guess I will go before Amos to this one. And offer a minute. I don't know how long that takes. 40 seconds.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant time loss to skip that and have to come back for it later. I've made that same gamble before, and it burned me one time, and never again. Never again will I do that.
Most times I hope that I get compass and map before the big chest, so I have to do both of them.
Right. Or neither compass or map, and you get to skip it and be completely safe in it.
Yeah.
The God Eastern.
Like Jack's Refi will be foregoing that last sword upgrade in the pit stop before Moldorm, but doesn't need it. Will be hookshotting across the void here and heading up to Aghanim 2 as Runner Watcher is making his way left side, having a little bit of trouble getting across, and there we go. And we'll be finding his big key in short order.
Right, just to answer chat real quick, the reason we have a no hints race today, and there's 2 more dailies this week that will be the same mode, is to prepare for the qualifiers that are about to start on Friday for the Speed Gaming Live event, which will be a live event where there will be many different tournaments, including Link to the Past Randomizer, and the mode for the rando tournament will be this same mode here, open, no hints. So just the dailies are just to help prepare the people who will be taking part in that for getting ready to not check in tiles.
Jack's Refi going in for the final Ganon fight. well equipped as were the other runners. Good upgraded swords, silver arrows, red mail, etc., etc.
I don't feel like the hint tiles really have that big of an effect on like how you route the game. Like essentially you're just routing the game as if every hint tile was a junk hit, which happens like 90% of the time anyway. I guess the main difference is that you'd probably be less willing to check or less willing to skip some of the more trolley locations because you know for sure that you're not going to get bailed out by a hint later. Like, I know sometimes, like, I'll put off Swamp Palace just because, you know, maybe I'll get a left side Swamp Hint in Ice Palace or something, right?
Chex Refi not far behind in beating their egos, beating Ganon, and we'll get official time in just a moment. So GG's to Chex Refi, taking out the big pig, third in our restream today. And as soon as he crosses the bridge of happiness and hope, I'll tell you that his official time is 1:46:32.
GG. Warner Watcher ends up just being the gauntlet behind. He'll still get like a nice sub too, but he knows it could have been so much more. Flippin' Pendant Helmosaur Ice Rod. So terrible.
We are joined by Chex Refi. GG on a great game. Nice job.
You say it's great, but after all those deaths in Thieves Town, I feel like it could have done better with that.
Blind is a frenetic creature. No one blames you for dying to Blind. You were just trying to give him one in the win column, that's all.
Yeah, I got a little too ambitious, trying to use the sword and when I had the cane and just trying to, you know, trying to be a little too ambitious with it. But other than that, I was pretty pleased with how that seed went. Although it turned out to be kind of almost linear, I would almost say.
And once that Ice Rod in pod was taken care of, the seed pretty much was linear from there.
Mm-hmm. Especially once you found the Fire Rod, Dark Death Mountain. I mean, at that point, I was pretty much like, well, I might as well do TR since I'm here.
Definitely a really nice find at that point to get the second required item to take down Trinex and T-Rock in that sort of proximity.
Mm-hmm.
So you felt the seed was pretty linear. Any other thoughts on the seed itself?
I mean, it was kind of interesting how, it was just kind of interesting how, especially with pod the way it was set up. Like I wouldn't know from everyone else, but like, see, I always clear dungeons, so I'd be curious to know like how many people actually like bailed as soon as they found Titan's Mids and didn't go all the way to Helmasaur, because that feels like something that would normally trip people up.
Yeah, that ended up being exactly what Runner Watcher, our 4-3 stream runner, ended up doing. And unfortunately, like the Ice Rod doesn't lock anything except for Trinex, so he ended up basically full clearing the game, hoping that it wasn't on Helmasaur. And you know, looking at like the finishes and like who still has yet to finish, like it seems like that was a pretty common gamble to trip people up.
Yeah, and like I said, like see, since I'm not at one of the top runners, like it's one of those things where I will always full clear a dungeon just because I don't want to take the risk of what if I accidentally left something behind.
So how did you feel about the no hints? Did you ever have to fight muscle memory to avoid checking one?
No, actually, I didn't. It was kind of like they kept drumming it in as we were kind of getting the race done. Like, no hints, no hints, no hints. It was kind of like, okay, you drilled it into me enough that there's no hints, so it didn't really. Like, every time I saw a box, it was like, remember, no hints. So, it wasn't too hard to remember that.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. None of our restream runners accidentally checked a hint tile. I was really hoping for that.
Back at the race, we're seeing Runner Watcher finally approaching Aghanim 2, slowly closing the book on this seed. So definitely interesting to hear his thoughts when he is done. But it definitely is seed, as you were saying, Jeff Jeffrey, that was very linear once you kind of got the one sort of hidden item out of the way. But I agree that I tend to have been burned so often with orphaning an item just for the sake of thinking that that's all I'm going to find in a dungeon in a couple of big finds, that I too would have gone and cleared that out right away.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough early game in the way of sort of swords and mail, because you guys are in green mail and fighter sword for a little bit of time in some areas that were a bit difficult to maneuver with that sort of low protection.
Yeah, I mean, like we already discussed, my Thieves Town was not the best, but I mean, other than that, I mean, you had early bow, you had hammer, like hookshot was kind of early once you got to Thieves Town. Like, it was like, yeah, it's kind of difficult when you're in the places where you can get bodied a lot, but other than that, like, you had ways to kind of mitigate that from a distance.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely, with some of those early finds, you were able to get around the fact that working with fighter sword and green mail was a reality for the beginning part of the game. Kind of peeling our eyes back to the race for just a quick second, we do see that Runner Watcher is on phase 3 of Ganon. Has butter sword, silver arrows, red mail, half magic, and everything, and the kitchen sink. So it should be a pretty quick clear once we get to phase 4, and then he'll be crossing the bridge of happiness and hope himself.
Oh no.
Oh, I didn't say that. Please do not tell him that I said that he was about to finish the game, because that's the commentator's curse, like 101.
Yeah, Runner Watcher was going for like a basically swag, stopping Ganon while on that one tile of safety below him, and ends up accidentally walking into him when he stepped up to fire the bow.
The funny thing is, he writed something in the SRL chat room at this time, and then he writed lol after he fell down.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, it's when this has been the seed for you, anything past it is like pure comedy, I'm sure. So now we're seeing Runner Watcher take on Ganon Part 2, going to Phase 3 again. Will likely be just a touch more careful this second time around. Unfortunately, the teleports are kind of re-racked when you go in the second time, and it's a different pattern, so hopefully it won't be too cruel. Looks like it's being fairly kind to him.
Quick double, and down goes Ganon.
Nice job to Runner Watcher. GG's in chat. That is some real nice grit. Really past, leaving behind that ice rod and really championing through to the finish. Nice job to Runner Watcher, crossing the bridge of hope and happiness at the time of 1:54:52. And he will be our final restream runner to cross the finish line today and 20th overall in the race. And again, 37 runners. That is definitely not a terrible finish to come in 20 out of 37.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
We're joined by Runner Watcher, GG.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I guess there was that one big gamble that went wrong, and otherwise I did okay. I mean, I died in Thieves Town, that wasn't great, and I fell on Ganon, but I didn't really care at that point, so.
I mean, skipping Helmless Sword from that position, like, it makes so much sense to skip Helmless Sword.
Yeah, it really does, and then I would have gone back there, except, you know, in Ice, I get the mirror, and I get the flute, and I'm just like, there's so much that's open up, and I'll be honest, I was metagaming a bit. I saw that people had finished, and so I was like, there's no way that the flute was actually required, so I just finished out Mire. I would have done Desert otherwise, but I was like, I probably missed either the two chests I skipped in Pod or the one chest I skipped in Ice, because otherwise nobody would have finished by then.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I guess, and then you wouldn't have had to double dip T-Rock. You wouldn't have had to, obviously, to do Mire, which I did, or all those checks like hammer pegs and stuff like that. If I had just done Helma, so.
Yeah, and Go Mode Swamp and Ice.
Yeah, oh yeah, Go mode Ice after that first chest mirror. And then the whole swamp is going to be Go mode, so. Yeah. I think other people did the same thing. Goomba said in chat, his comment was like, I would have made the same play every time. I bet it was the same play that I made.
Oh, most definitely. Like,
probably caught them like
lots of like really good runners who like should have finished by now, you know, like given their history of execution, like Goomba and Frostbite. And for them to finish so much behind the race leader, it's they almost definitely made that same gamble.
Yeah, I honestly feel I don't really know what the etiquette on metagaming like that is on watching chat, because I would have, if I didn't know that anybody would have finished, what I probably would have done is I probably would have done Desert and then gone back to Pod in the hopes of then doing like Ped, because Ped was open at that point, so it could have been nice trying on Pedestal. It's
fair game to try and metagame from like the finish times. It's not like you could get first place from doing that.
No, of course not. You can never get first place from metagaming. That's kind of the nature of it. Well, I honestly think besides that one play, which was, I knew it was a gamble when I was doing it. If I had the mirror, I would have finished out the dungeon, but I was just like, I have to go take all this damage to warp back to the beginning. It just seemed really annoying. The funny thing is that I was actually thinking of going straight to Helma at the beginning of the dungeon. And obviously that would have worked out very well for me.
Yeah, that's what Hitsian ended up doing.
Yeah, I kind of went, I don't know. I mean, maybe that was the right play. I don't know. I think it was a gamble either way. It's one of those toss-up kind of decisions.
I would have hammered him personally, like if I was running it, to avoid death warping, like you were talking about.
Oh yeah, I did hammer Yump, but I had just already checked everything up there, so I would have had to walk all the way back. I don't know. I probably should have done it. It's not that much time to kill Helma. It's just there's so much. Having just gotten the mist, so much opens up, and it was the same way after Ice. You get the mirror, you get the flute. I don't know if many people did Fat Fairy, but having the book was also like really annoying for me.
Yeah,
it was just yeah, it was one of those seeds where you have stuff and you think, well, I have this, I have to use it. Otherwise, I just wasted time getting it.
Right.
And then you waste even more time using it. So I did all the books checks. I fluted out to Mire and did all those checks. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Jack.
No, because the only thing was, with the way I routed it, Mirror was my go mode. So, and I hadn't been up to Death Mountain when I got the book, so routing an ether tablet really wasn't that difficult because I was doing all of the other Death Mountain checks. So, like, I can understand kind of how you ended up, how the book kind of held you back, but for me, like, it really just only opened up ether tablet, and without the mirror, there wasn't an easy way to check pedestal, so I wasn't going to do that.
I was honestly sure that the book was going to lead to something. Like, the first 2 dungeons you can do are the 2 red crystals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, and then you go to Fat Fairy, and then there's the book. It just seems like, you know, most of the time that book is going to be. It just seems important when it's there, right? You know, in that situation.
Well, and I kind of took, with how many runners we had, I figured a lot of people at that point. I had Desert and Pod left in terms of trying to find progression, and so I tried the low percent play of going to Desert, you know, thinking that's, you know, taking the gamble that that's the thing most people weren't going to do, and then you get boots locked, so you're immediately kicked out, and then you end up going to Pod, and that's where all the progression was.
Yeah, I didn't enter Desert. I did do Mire, which there were probably not very many people who did Mire.
No, I never even went in there. Like I said, once I got Mirror for Go mode, I didn't even find the flute because I was just going right for Cold Stare at that point.
Mire was another thing. Like, their Bombos wasn't T-Rock. I was like, I'm going to justify my double dip by entering Mire with the Bombos medallion. Kind of like, sometimes having things, like, not having things is better than having things.
Mm-hmm.
That's my philosophy.
No, I really think you made a great call, though.
I don't think it was a bad call. It's just you know, when it works out, it feels good. When it doesn't work out,
yeah,
you know,
I mean,
it doesn't feel good.
The expected value for any single location is nothing, right? Like, the odds of it being progression, of a single location being progression versus not progression, it's way more likely to be nothing. And Helmasaur himself is a significant time sink.
Yeah, it's like it's 2 minutes to go run and kill Helmasaur. That's 2 minutes for one item.
Yeah, and then even past that, if it is progression, it's way more likely to be progression that prevents you from continuing the seed, right? Something that would bottleneck you, so you end up going back there eventually anyway.
Yeah, exactly. This was just like the worst possible situation.
Just happens to be the Ice Rod.
After this one, you will never skip Helma, Kappa.
Well, I guess that's enough for me. Hopefully people enjoyed watching me fumble around with this seed. Sorry, I think my stream went out for a minute during the broadcast, so I apologize for that.
Sorry for you, mate.
Yeah.
Just don't let it happen again.
Thank you guys for having me. Yeah, of course, yeah. I'll be in trouble if I do. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Thank you, Runner Watcher. And all right, guys, looks like we're gonna wrap it up here. Much love to all of our runners: Cassidy Moen, Jex Refi, Runner Watcher, and Hitzigan Leet. You can use !R to check out their streams, give them a follow, show them how much you appreciate what they do for us here on Speed Gaming, and also our trackers, who are literally Jen and I have to look it up again. What was it?
Say Ryu X.
Why can't you have an easier name? Say Ryu X. Thank you so much, guys, for tracking for us. Really appreciate that, and also to us, me. Hi, that's me, Koi, and the Profate Gamer. We're doing commentary for you.
And cheers! Thanks to our runners. Thanks to our trackers, and Koi. It's always a pleasure to. Second time I've gone with you, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Make sure to stay tuned to Speed Gaming channels, all like 20 of them. Always speed running events happening on those channels. Follow every single one if you want to catch up with all the speed running fun. Until then, we'll see you guys later. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care.